Next question. Today is Baisakhi. In some parts of India, we celebrate it as Bihu, and in some parts as Vishu, some parts as Puthandu, etc. And this festival is also celebrated as the New Year. What is the best gift that we can give to our loved ones on this occasion? Is there any deeper significance of this Indian New Year? Vishal. I wish you all a very happy Baisakhi, Vishu, and whatever the different names are. Navratri is also going on, and then we have this festival, the New Year. In many Indian states, it is called with different names, but it all marks the start of a new year. We all know that these are the days when the first harvest of the year is also celebrated. So this is the start of the new year and also celebration of the harvest. And the common thread between all these different festivals which we celebrate in India in different places is the harvest. And because it is the new harvest, it is also celebrated as the new year. So the common thread is the harvest. The idea of these festivals was actually to strengthen the bond between humans and Mother Nature. However, today, instead of the bond getting strengthened, the bond is getting weakened. And because of this weakening of our bond with Mother Nature, we are facing so many climatic changes at the global level, as well as health-related changes at the individual level, be it mental health or physical health. In childhood, we used to hear a story of a greedy man who had an amazing hen. The hen used to give golden eggs every day. You must have heard that story also. And this man would sell these golden eggs and make very good money. Life was going very well for him until one fateful day. He thought to himself, why should I wait for one day to just get one golden egg? What if I kill the hen and cut it open? Then I can get all the golden eggs in one shot and thus become very, very rich overnight. And the foolish man killed the hen. Now, I don't have to tell you what happened after that, right? This is exactly what we are doing to our Mother Nature. Because new harvest is only possible because of Mother Nature. If we take care of Mother Nature, we are going to good harvest. Otherwise, we are not going to get it. We are butchering our own mother for our greed, just like this man who butchered the hen. And just like the hen or any other animal cries out when it is being butchered, our Mother Earth is crying right now. You're asking me about the gift. I think more important than what gift you can give on these festivals to your loved ones, I think it is much more important to think about what are we doing to our Mother Nature. All this climate change, global warming, all these are the cries of Mother Nature. But we have chosen to be deaf. We don't care. Let mother cry in pain. Who cares? Who cares? All this celebration of Navaratri, of the Divine Mother, it is useless if we don't take care of Mother Nature, because Mother Nature is verily the manifestation of the Divine Mother. Just by going to the temple, just by waving the lamp or doing arti of a statue is not good enough. I'm not saying that we should not do it. We should do it. There is absolutely nothing wrong in that. But what is important is to also take care of Mother Nature, because Mother Nature is the Divine Mother. Global warming, climate change, all these are the realities that we are facing us. And they are demanding to act right now, right away. Otherwise, the consequences will be disastrous. Ice caps are melting. Sea levels are rising. But we think it is not affecting us because we are far away from it. That's what we think. This only shows how uninformed and unaware we are about the importance of living in harmony with Mother Nature. Seas, oceans, they are now rising at an average of 3.2 millimeter per year. Globally, 3.2 millimeter per year. You may think that it is a very small increase, but it is not. Sea level rise is going to have a devastating impact on those living in the coastal regions. According to a research and advocacy group, sea level rise in this century could flood the coastal areas that are now home to 340 million to 480 million people. So they will have to run away from those areas. And this will create overpopulation in other areas where they go. It's all connected. Unfortunately, most people on this planet, they have this attitude that as long as I get what I want, why should I bother about all this climate change and all? Let someone else take care of it. But nothing can be more irresponsible than this kind of attitude. The time to act is now, because otherwise the consequences of inaction are going to be dire. We are squeezing our Mother Nature mercilessly. No sane child will do that to his or her mother. We are mad, absolutely mad. And all of us are committing this sin every day, be it a man or a woman, all of us. We are exploiting our mother shamelessly. We are just not treating our mother right. What can I tell you about the gift? You have asked about what gift you can give to your loved ones. Let me ask you, what gift are we giving to our Mother Earth? What gift are we giving to our Mother Nature? Let it be very, very clear. Our most precious asset is not our bank balance. It's not our car. It's not our house also. Our most precious asset is Mother Nature, because it sustains our life. Rest, everything is secondary. And it is a great misfortune that we ourselves have created a situation where our Mother Earth, our planet, is under a great threat now. And we don't want to admit it. Even though we are seeing all the signs around us, the scorching heat waves, the raging wildfires, disappearing glaciers, bleaching of the coral reefs. But many of us, we are just ignoring this. We are too busy in our mundane lives. I remember a quote from Amma. Amma says that our own mother may carry us on her lap for 5 years or so, but our Mother Earth will tolerate all our abuse and take care of us for our entire lifespan.
നമ്മളെ പ്രസവിച്ച അമ്മ ചിലപ്പോൾ 2, 3, 5 വയസ്സ് വരെ മടിയിരുത്ത് ഭൂമാത അങ്ങല്ല. ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുക്കുകയും ചവിട്ടാനും തുപ്പാനും ഇടിക്കാനും അനുവദിച്ച അമ്മയാണ്. ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുവൻ നമ്മളെ പോറ്റി വളർത്തുന്ന അമ്മ, എല്ലാത്തിൻ്റെയും പോഷകശക്തിയായി. ആ അമ്മയുടെ കടമ നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും മറക്കരുത്.
And what are we doing to this mother? Amma has been emphasizing on this again and again in many of her satsangs. But how many of us are even understanding the gravity of what she is saying? And even if we are understanding, how many of us are acting on it? Mahatma Gandhi rightly pointed out that earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. We have become utterly selfish and greedy. Take climate change, for example. Climate change is driven by our irresponsible behavior, nothing else. And this is pushing our planet to its limits. The statistics are staggering. Global temperatures are rising, ice caps are melting. Earth is crying out for mercy, but we don't care. We are too busy with giving gifts to each other, but we are not worried about our Mother Earth. 2023 was the hottest year on record. Do you know this? The global average temperatures went 1.46 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels. And this year was marked by 6 record-breaking months and 2 record-breaking seasons. Look at the statistics. Now we may think, what is the big deal? Just 1.46 degrees Celsius. What's the big deal? This only shows how ignorant we are. Our earth, our forests, the atmosphere around the earth, it is just a living entity. It is not dead, inert matter. It is living entity. And it is because of this Mother Nature, a living mother, that we are living. We are existing because of her, not the other way. Mother Nature is not existing because of us. We are existing because of Mother Nature. And let me tell you, 1.46 degrees Celsius increase is a lot. I want you to understand this. What happens when your body temperature goes from 98 degree Fahrenheit to 99 degree Fahrenheit? Just 1 degree Fahrenheit increase. What happens? Right. You are no more a normal person then. You are a sick person. If somebody asks you, how are you doing? You're going to say that I'm not doing well. I have fever. 1 degree Fahrenheit increase means roughly 0.6 degree Celsius increase. Now imagine what 0.6 degree Celsius increase in your temperature, in your body temperature can do to you. Because then you are technically, medically sick. And we are talking about 1.46 degrees Celsius increase. How insensitive can we be? If we think that 1.46 Celsius increase is not going to make any difference to Mother Nature. You know, all the crops that you are getting, you are celebrating this harvest, right? You know, Earth will stop giving you the harvest if the temperatures keep increasing like this. And that day may come very soon if we don't correct ourselves. There is a limit to which Mother Nature can take our torture and abuse. In 2023, carbon dioxide levels reached all-time high. Look at the statistics again. And I think in May it was the highest. And today, CO2 levels have increased by alarming 50% compared to what it was before. Now, how can we be so blind to this? This is going to have a devastating impact on our climate.
കാർബൺ ഡയോക്സൈഡ് കൂടിയത് കാരണം ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ നമുക്കറിയാം കടലിലെ ഞണ്ടുകൾ നമ്മുടെ കുടങ്ങളിൽ ഞണ്ടുകൾ കല്ലിനടയിൽ ചത്തിയെത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു കടത്തീരത്തുകളിൽ നിന്ന ഒരു 600 എത്രയോ കിലോമീറ്ററോളം കടത്തീരങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് വൃക്ഷങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണങ്ങി നിൽക്കുന്നു 2 ദിവസം കൊണ്ട്. വളരെ സമ്മർദ്ദമാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പെട്ടെന്ന് വ്യതിയാനങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടായ ഓരോന്ന് കാണുകയാണ്.
Floods, droughts, wildfires, ocean acidification, disruption of the marine habitats. But who cares? We are too busy to give gifts to our loved ones. We don't have time for Mother Nature. And let me tell you, all these gifts which you are giving, whether it is sweets or chocolates or something, it is all coming from Mother Nature. The packing material, the clothes, where is it coming from? You know, even if these facts are right now in front of us, we are still opting to be blind. We are choosing to be blind. There are many government and non-government bodies who are working hard to tell us what is happening, to give us warnings, but we don't care. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, they have issued multiple warnings. But despite that, no concrete steps have been taken. Of course, you know, pledges and commitments have been taken by various governments around the world to cap global warming and so on. But what is actually happening on the ground? We are still dumping so much of nuclear waste into the oceans. We are still dumping so much of waste chemicals harmful chemicals into the water. The impact of climate change is so profound that sometimes it takes just 2 days for healthy trees along the coastline to dry up. Just 2 days. Global temperature rise has not only affected the surface of the earth, but it is the main cause of ocean acidification also. Do you know that? Because our oceans absorb about 30% of the carbon dioxide, which is released into the Earth's atmosphere. Now, as these higher concentrations of carbon emissions are released, the amount of carbon dioxide that is absorbed back into the ocean, that also increases. And because of that, there is a change in the pH scale. And a small change in the pH scale can have a very significant impact on the acidity of the ocean. So ocean acidification is going to also have devastating impacts. In fact, it is already happening. The marine ecosystems are getting disrupted. The food chain is getting disrupted. And of course, the coral bleaching and the loss of the coral reef. This is a phenomenon, which occurs when rising ocean temperatures disrupt the symbiotic relation between the reefs and the algae that lives in it. But we don't even know, we don't care. Scientists have even estimated that coral reefs are at the risk of becoming completely wiped out by 2050. It is going to have a devastating impact on the ocean ecosystem. And you think it is not going to affect us? How many of us think of greenhouse emissions or carbon footprint every day? How many of us? Anybody? Not once in a while. Every day. We don't. For us, it is just another piece of news. That's all. We listen and we forget. That's all. We get back to our usual life. The so-called usual life. When the COVID pandemic was at its peak, we were all forced to think about coronavirus. Why? Every single day we had to think about it. Because our normal day-to-day, so-called normal life was gone. But I'm asking you, is that the only way that we humans are going to learn our lessons? Do we want Mother Nature to do that again to us? In fact, we are forcing our Mother Nature to do it. We call ourselves as the most intelligent species on this earth, but we act in such insane manner, such stupid manner, that even animals, I would say, are better than us. Are we even aware of our own carbon footprint? I'm asking you. Are you aware of your carbon footprint? Some of us may not even know what the hell carbon footprint is. All of us are generating a carbon footprint. Do this homework. You have all the information now at your fingertips, in your mobile, in the internet. Go and find out what carbon footprint is. And I want you to find out what is your carbon footprint and see how much you can reduce it. We are just greedy, utterly greedy. Just for the taste of our tongue, we don't hesitate to kill thousands and thousands of innocent animals. And you know how much greenhouse emission is happening because of raising a large number of cattle to satisfy your greed, to satisfy the lust of your tongue, your taste buds, which want to taste meat. Studies have shown that the global food system, which is right now prevalent across the globe, it is responsible, and I'm talking about the human food system, it is responsible for up to one-third of all the human-caused greenhouse gas emissions. So roughly 30% comes from livestock and fisheries. 30%. This is not a joke. And 60% of the world's agricultural area, unfortunately, is dedicated to this raising of the cattle. And we are still having TV debates and whatnot about whether to eat meat or not, whether to be vegetarian or not. And we are so shameless, I would say, that we start connecting it to the religion to justify our meat eating. Sheer stupidity. Scientists, environmentalists, ask them.
Cows are a big part of our diet in the US. Americans eat billions of pounds of beef each year. And cows, well, they burp a lot. And those burps are mostly methane, which is a greenhouse gas 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide. According to 2019 data from the Environmental Protection Agency, the United States emitted 6.6 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases that year. Climate scientists say methane emissions, in addition to carbon dioxide emissions, need to be dramatically reduced to prevent catastrophic warming.
They are continuously warning us that we need to rethink our food system. We need to switch to plant-based diet. If we want to reduce the carbon footprint, we need to switch to plant-based diet. It is not an option. It is not a choice anymore. If we want to live healthy, if we want our generations, the next coming generations, if we want them to be healthy. You asked about giving gift. I would say, take care of Mother Nature so that you can give a good gift to your next generations. In fact, it will be a gift to yourself and all your loved ones. Meat eating or not eating is not an option anymore. If we don't give up meat eating, very soon we will be forced to give it up. But as we saw in the COVID pandemic time, humans don't learn easily. Unless and until they get a beating from the Mother Nature, they are not going to learn. We don't realize how much carbon footprint we are creating. You know, there are houses where in one house where you have only 3-4 family members, there are 4 cars. Why? When one car is enough. The maximum 2. Why would you have 4 cars? But people want their comfort, people want their luxury, people want to show off. They don't care what greenhouse emission, what carbon footprint, they don't care. Just like people were fined for not putting a mask during the COVID pandemic, there will be a time when people will be fined for making bigger carbon footprint, for producing more greenhouse emissions. A time will come when people will get jailed for this. You see, a time will come. We have not come to that understanding yet, but we will, hopefully. Amma says this very often in her satsang. People go to gym to reduce some calories, right? But to go to gym, they use a car. So they are burning fossil fuel, they are creating global warming, they are creating more carbon footprint, they are spending money to go to gym to reduce calories. If the same person would have gone from his house or her house to the gym by walk or by running, the person would have lost the same number of calories. We are just foolish human race. Arrogant and foolish human race. We think we own this planet. And it's not just about climate change. It's not just about global warming. Biodiversity loss. Biodiversity loss is also a grave concern. There are many species which are disappearing at an alarming rate. We will not see these species ever again. The forests, which were once full of these various different species of organisms, they are now being cleared at a maddening pace. And what is left behind is just barren wastelands, devoid of any diversity, any vitality. There's nothing there. This is barren. Now imagine if someone removed all the bacteria from your gut, from your intestines. You know what will happen? You will fall sick. Your digestion won't work properly. And that is the reason why many people eat probiotics, those capsules, to maintain that healthy bacteria in our gut. Now, if you give chemicals to the same person in order to kill that bacteria in the gut, what do you think is going to happen? This is exactly what we are doing to Mother Earth. I'm telling you again and again, Earth, nature is not inert. It is a living organism. It is not lifeless. How can it be lifeless? It is because of Earth, because of Mother Nature that we have life. So how can it be lifeless? We are losing many species at an alarming rate. If you look at the population sizes of mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, even amphibians, there is a decline of almost 68% between 1970 and 2016. Now, this is not my statistics. This is according to a 2020 WWF report. Check it out. Do we even realize what it means? 68% decline. That is the alarming rate at which we are losing the species. And what sort of repercussions do you think it will have? Is this our gift to our coming generation? You have asked about the gift. That is why I'm again and again stressing on that point. Is this the gift that you are going to give to your next generations? There are many experts who even say that our current rate of extinction of various species is anywhere between 1,000 to 10,000 times higher than its natural extinction rate. It's alarming. It's alarming. 1,000 to 10,000 times higher. Almost half of the species are in critical risk of extinction by 2100. Scientists don't know exactly how many species we lose every year, but the estimate says that it could be almost near 100,000, 1 lakh per year, which means almost one every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, we are losing one species. That is how bad it is. It is creating a great imbalance in our entire ecosystem. We don't realize how important every organism in our creation is, how important every species is. We simply don't care for biodiversity. And the main reason is because we are ignorant about its importance. We don't know how important it is. For us, crow is just a useless animal. For us, pig is a useless, dirty animal. But scientists will tell you how important they are. Scientists are saying that in the last 60 years, just 60 years, about 40% of the marine algae, which is also called phytoplanktons, they have gone extinct. And they are the foundation of the marine life. But they are extinct now.
കഴിഞ്ഞ 60 വർഷത്തിനുള്ളിൽ നമ്മുടെ സമുദ്രത്തിന്റെ ജലാശയങ്ങളുടെ നിലനിൽപ്പിന് ആധാരമായി അവയുടെ ഉപരിതലത്തിൽ നിലകൊള്ളുന്ന ചെറുപായൽ 40% നശിച്ചതായി ശാസ്ത്രജ്ഞന്മാർ പറയും. കടജീവികൾക്ക് ജീവശക്തിയും ഊർജവും നൽകുന്ന ഈ ജീവികൾ ഈ അളവിൽ ഇല്ലാതാകുന്നത് തുടർന്നാൽ മത്സ്യവും മറ്റ് സമുദ്രരൂപങ്ങളും ക്ഷയിച്ച് ക്രമേണ ഇല്ലാതാകും.
Amma says that nothing in this nature is insignificant. And it is so true. So true. I remember one very important statement which Amma makes. It's worth pondering upon. Amma says that both the engine and the screw are important in an airplane. The plane will not fly if there is a problem with either of them. If the engine is not working properly, plane is not going to take flight. If the vital screw is missing, then also the plane is not going to fly. Nothing is insignificant. Worth pondering on this, especially when it comes to Mother Nature. Every species, every organism has an importance. With this biodiversity loss that is happening at such an alarming rate, what are we gifting to our future generation? We are gifting a plane which is missing all the vital screws. Anytime the plane can crash. These small bees, honeybees, we kill them, right? Just to get honey. But do we realize how important they are? It is from the pollination by honeybees that we get fruits and vegetables. Amma says that, earlier the bees would fly almost as far as 3 kilometers to collect the pollen with which they make honey and all, and then return back up to 3 kilometers. But now, with the amount of pesticides that we are using, the chemical pesticide, and also the radio signal towers which we have put everywhere, the memory of the bees is getting badly affected. Now the bees can only travel up to maximum a kilometer. They cannot travel long distance, because if they do, then they forget how to come back, and then they die. We are the reason due to which there is so much of biodiversity loss. Let me ask you one thing. What will you do if someone encroaches into your house or your land? What will you do? We will certainly go to any extent to make sure that all the encroachers are pushed away. And push comes to shove, we will even take them to the court. We don't want anybody to encroach on our land. But what are we doing to the birds, to the animals, and to the organisms who are living in the forests, which we are clearing away, which we are cutting down? Just because they cannot take us to the court, we are taking an undue advantage. We are just being so stone-hearted. We don't see those birds, animals, organisms as our family members. We only talk about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. But there is no walking the talk, only talk. We talk about it on the Earth Day, we talk about it on the World Environment Day, in big conferences. But we don't treat them like our own. We don't treat them like our family members. What is Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam? What does it mean? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam means what? This Mother Earth, this entire Earth, and the organisms which live on this planet, they are our family. We just take some photographs on World Environment Day and that's it. Back to our busy life. Again, I'm not saying that everybody is like that. There are many good organizations. There are people who are doing great work. Our own organization is doing a lot of work in this regard, be it the seed ball campaigns, be it plantation drives, be it waste management, be it reducing the carbon emissions. But I'm talking about the majority of the population on this earth. They don't care. The number of people who really do care is very small compared to the people who just don't care. We humans are encroaching the forests every single day. Every tree that we cut down, in one way, we are cutting down a part of our own lungs. Because what our lungs breathe in, these trees are breathing out. If they don't breathe out, we are not going to breathe in. That is how interconnected we are. And we just think that cutting a tree is of no concern to me. How insensitive and how foolish can we be? Don't treat them like inert object. This is my heartfelt appeal. Do you know, every hour, forests of the size of 300 football fields, 300 football fields are being cut down every hour. And by the year 2030, the planet, our Earth, might have only 10% of its forests. This is not my statistics. It's all on internet. Go and find out. If deforestation is not stopped, even this 10% will be gone. And where will these poor creatures go? These animals, these birds, these organisms who are living in these forests. After we cut them, where will they go? And then we wonder, how did coronavirus came to us? Look at the height of ignorance. Coronavirus did not come to us on its own. We welcomed it. We forced it to come to us. And many more such viruses and bacteria will plague our human population very soon in the years to come if we don't correct ourselves. Where will the virus go? It was living happily in the forests. But you went and encroached those forest lands. You tortured the forest. And now these organisms, these species, these viruses have no other option. We are committing suicide, in fact. We are killing ourselves. If we had not disturbed these species or these organisms, they would also not have troubled us. I really don't understand how is it that we say that we are the most intelligent species on this planet. How insensitive can we be? How ruthlessly are we treating the animals and birds? Another grave concern is pollution. Air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. All this is poisoning our planet. Every breath you take, every sip of water you drink, it carries with it the toxic legacy of our reckless exploitation of the Mother Earth and its resources. How much of nuclear waste are we dumping into our oceans every day? How much oil is getting spilled in the oceans? Do you think it will absolutely have no effect on us? Data from the World Health Organization, WHO, shows that an estimated of 4.2 to about roughly 7 million people, they die from air pollution worldwide every year. It's not a joke. And that 9 out of 10 people breathe air continuously that contains a very high level of pollutant. 4.2 to 7 million people dying every year because of pollution. Those are staggering numbers. And very soon we will see that, drinking water is going to be very scarce. There will be a day when we will be forced to spend thousands of rupees or dollars just to get one glass of water. Just one glass of water. We may not believe this, but if we go in the same trajectory that we are going right now, this is what is going to happen. And we have seen this during the COVID pandemic, how those very, very cheap injections which were costing less than 1,000 rupees, they were sold for lakhs of rupees. So drinking water is going to be scarcity. Now we may think that, why should I be bothered? I have enough money to buy the mineral water bottles, right? That is what some of you may think. Maybe today you can afford it, but let me tell you, a day will come when you will not be able to afford it. And not just that, even if you can afford it right now, do you think entire population on this planet, we are 8 billion of us, do you think all of us can afford? Large percent of the population cannot afford mineral water every day. To buy it, I mean. They cannot afford to buy it every day. An average person, minimum, consumes about 4 liters of drinking water per day, on an average. And we are 8 billion of us. Can you imagine the daily consumption of the drinking water? And how much water are we wasting and polluting? I have not even counted the water that we use for cooking, for example. Leave that aside for now. We just cannot continue to treat our planet like this. Let me tell you very, very frankly. It's already too late. But still there is some hope. We cannot treat our planet like a bottomless pit, like a garbage can, which has no bottom. No. Our planet cannot endlessly absorb all the waste that we are putting into it. It is not capable of that. Our Mother Earth cannot sustain our insatiable greed. There was a study in which it was concluded that Earth has to be almost double its size, about 1.8 times, almost double, to absorb all the waste that we are generating right now. And we all know that we cannot expand the size of Earth. Earth is going to remain same. So what are the other options? Other options are that either we wake up and try to correct our wrong actions at a very, very fast pace, or be ready to die, be ready to suffer, not just die, be ready to suffer. We need to act now, and we need to act fast. Otherwise, we are going to die a suffocating death, treacherous death, and we are all going to be part of it. It's not going to spare anyone. You may think I'm trying to just scare you or exaggerate the situation, but let me tell you, don't forget what happened in COVID. Pandemic was an eye-opener for us, but we are choosing to close our eyes rather. You know, if a couple of more such viruses like coronavirus affect our humanity, be it due to pollution or biodiversity loss or deforestation, you think we are going to die peacefully? And to top it, couple of degrees rise in the temperature, global warming. You know, it is going to be a hellish experience for the entire humanity. Do you still want to know what gift you are going to give to your loved ones? So much of electronic waste, which we are generating from our laptops, from our computers, from our phones, from our machines. You know, it's like a cancer on our Mother Earth. But do we think about this? When we buy more and more gadgets, new phones, new laptops, greedy. We don't need them, but we keep on buying. More and more new cars. Not one, not two, 5 cars, 10 cars in one house. And then how much waste we generate from these things. We don't recycle, we don't reuse. Some people don't even understand what recycle and reuse is. For them, all that matters is money, money, money. Tomorrow, if Earth stops to produce harvest, if Earth stops to produce food, are we going to eat those paper or plastic currencies? This is a question you need to ask ourselves. Are we going to eat money? How immature can we be? Each and every one of us must take this responsibility for the better future of our planet. We must demand an action from our leaders, from corporations, from organizations, and we must hold them accountable for their actions. And we must also be accountable to ourselves for what we are doing. At a national level or international level, we definitely need very, very strict policies which don't compromise at all with the health of this planet. But most political parties around the world, they don't seem to care about such things. Who cares about Mother Nature? And we also don't question any of these political parties. We don't ask them, why is Mother Nature not part of your election manifesto? We don't ask them, why are environmental problems not part of your election manifesto? Because majority of the humans, the so-called intelligent species, they are only concerned about money, power, and fame. That's all. Money, power, and fame. In the name of development, what all is happening around the world? We are digging our own grave. We are spending millions of dollars to go and inhabit the space. But I sincerely wish and pray, really, from the bottom of my heart, that may humans be never able to go to the space. If this is the attitude of humans, it is better that we don't go to the space. Because even if we go to the space and find a planet or a moon to live, I'm telling you, within few years, we will become a threat to those planets and moons also. Just like we killed our own Mother Earth, we will kill those planets also. But how much money are we spending on such foolish things? If we spend that same amount of money and resources on making the environmental conditions better on this planet, I think it would do us much more good. But we don't care. And that is why even political parties don't care, because they need votes. They will only care about the things which you care about. But if we have even little bit of sensitivity, if we have even little bit of intelligence, I think we should look into the election manifestos of the political parties around the world and see who are really concerned about the environment, who are really concerned about the global warming, climate change, biodiversity loss. I don't know how many of you have seen this very, very beautiful and amazing documentary called An Inconvenient Truth. The former president of USA, Al Gore, he is also starring in this documentary. I will recommend that everyone sees this. An Inconvenient Truth. It may be inconvenient, but it is truth. I will be really, really glad if other world politicians, as well as the Indian politicians, they start thinking on these lines and make these issues part of their election manifestos, their policies. Now let's leave the government aside for a minute. No point only blaming the government or the political parties or the policy makers. Important question is, are we asking ourselves daily, how are we going to make a difference?